What are the odds of surviving a single atomic bomb? And yet there was one man who survived not just one, but two. His life defied the unimaginable, and his story raises a haunting question. How does a single human endure the unthinkable twice? Part 1. The morning Hiroshima died. In the early morning of August 6, 1945, the city of Hiroshima stirred with the ordinary sounds of daily life. People walked to work, children laughed in the streets, and markets bustled with activity. Among them was Tsutomu Yamaguchi, a young engineer in his 20s, working for Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. Yamaguchi had come to Hiroshima from his hometown of Nagasaki, a few hundred kilometers away, for a short business trip. He was diligent, focused, and like many, unaware of the storm about to descend upon his city. At precisely 8:15 a.m., the sky over Hiroshima lit up with an intense flash. The world seemed to explode into white fire. The atomic bomb had been dropped, instantly vaporizing buildings and scorching everything in its path. Yamaguchi was near the Mitsubishi factory, just 2 kilometers from ground zero. He was thrown to the ground, his eardrums shattered, and his body burned by the searing heat. Yet somehow, against all odds, he survived. Stumbling through the ruins, he witnessed the horror. His city was gone, engulfed in flames and smoke. People ran in panic, some burned, others dazed and bleeding. Yamaguchi, though injured and partially blinded, began the arduous journey home to Nagasaki. He did not know that fate had a cruel second test waiting for him. A few days later, he would return to his hometown, still recovering from his injuries, unaware that Nagasaki itself would soon face an unimaginable fate. And then, just 3 days later, the sky over Nagasaki would erupt in another blinding flash. Part 2. Nagasaki in Flames. August 9th, 1945. Nagasaki, a city known for its shipbuilding and vibrant commerce. Yamaguchi, against the advice of friends and family, returned to the city to report to work. He walked the streets still scarred from conventional bombings, unaware that the atomic age had only begun. At 11:02 a.m., the second bomb exploded. The mushroom cloud rose above Nagasaki, a monstrous tower of fire and radiation. Yamaguchi, already weakened from his first encounter, was once again thrown to the ground. Buildings collapsed around him, and debris filled the streets like a river of rubble. This time, the blast left him severely burned, yet he survived. Friends, co-workers, and strangers were not as fortunate. Thousands perished instantly, and the city was nearly destroyed. Yamaguchi later described the scene with haunting clarity: a sky filled with smoke, cries echoing through flattened streets, and a silence that came after the chaos, heavier than any sound. Survivors often speak of a strange calm after the initial shock, a moment when the world seemed suspended. For Yamaguchi, this calm was followed by another cruel twist: radiation sickness. His body bore the invisible scars of 2 nuclear attacks, from burns to nausea, from hair loss to long-term health complications. It seemed impossible to endure, yet he lived. His survival was a testament not to luck alone, but to resilience, courage, and the strange mercy of fate. Part 3. A life marked by fire. Yamaguchi lived, but his life would never be the same. His burns healed, but the trauma lingered. He witnessed friends and family struggle with radiation sickness. He saw a world changed by the dawn of nuclear weapons, a world now aware of its own terrifying power. In the years after the war, Yamaguchi became an advocate for peace. He spoke at conferences, in schools, and to reporters, sharing his story not for fame, but to warn humanity. He carried the weight of being a living witness to the darkest chapters of the 20th century. Doctors confirmed he had survived both bombs, a unique record in history, yet Yamaguchi himself refused to see it as a miracle. For him, survival was both a burden and a responsibility. His life reminded the world that nuclear weapons were not just numbers or statistics, but real forces capable of changing human lives forever. Yamaguchi passed away in 2010 at the age of 93. He left behind a story that still resonates, a story of resilience against unimaginable odds. Part 4. Witness to History. The life of Tsutomu Yamaguchi teaches us something profound. It shows the fragility of human existence, the resilience of the human spirit, and the cost of technological power without moral restraint. In surviving not one, but two atomic bombs, Yamaguchi did more than cheat death. He became a living symbol, a reminder that the choices we make today can shape the survival of generations tomorrow. Sometimes, survival is not just about living. It is about remembering, bearing witness, and carrying the weight of history so that the world may never repeat its darkest mistakes.